Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are to learn the priority code, BEDMAS Rule in mathematics. If you are to look at the acronym on the left, you should see that this BEDMAS is in 4 colors and each color represents one priority. The priority starts from the top and move down to the bottom. Therefore, you are always to start from the highest priority that is represented by the uppercase letter B. B stands for brackets. Bracket has 3 types, the parenthesis, commonly C, and square bracket or curly braces. Moving on to the second priority, that is the uppercase E. This E stands for exponent and is represented by the superscript that is attached to a number. Moving on, we have the third priority in green and is represented by the uppercase D, that is division, and uppercase M, and that is multiplication. That tells you that division and multiplication, they share the same priority. The last, you have addition and subtraction in blue, and that is the last priority. And also, the addition and subtraction, they share the same priority. Let's look at the example on the right. If you are to observe the question, you should see that you have both addition and multiplication. And let's look at the priority they are in. So this addition is the fourth priority, in other words, last, while this multiplication is in third priority. So we are to perform the priority that is on top first. So 3 times 4 will give you 12. And we are to bring the 2 down, put the addition. We have not done the addition. And the last, we are to perform the addition. So 2 plus 12 should give you 14. Moving on, we are to look at this expression in which you have different operations. The first, if you are to look at the parentheses in red, we are to perform that first. So therefore, we are to look at whatever is inside the parentheses and operate that. So 5 plus 3 gives you 8, and copy everything else down. We are now to look at the next operation we are to perform. After you have done the first priority that is in red, we are to perform the second priority that is in yellow. So 8 squared should give you 64. We are to do that and copy everything else down. And now, let's look at the division and multiplication, that they share the same priority and we have more than one operations here. So we are to follow the left to right order. In other words, we are to perform the division first. Therefore, 64 divided by 4 gives you 16. And copy everything else down. And now you have the multiplication and the subtraction. So multiplication has a higher priority. So we are to perform the multiplication first. So 16 times 2 gives you 32. And copy the minus 1 back. Last, we are to perform the last priority, that is subtraction. So 32 minus 1 will ultimately gives you 31 as your final answer. The last question, and we are to perform the bracket first. But in this case, you have 2 brackets. You have a parenthesis inside and a square bracket outside. So if you have more than one brackets, we are to perform the one that is inside first. In other words, we are to perform the parentheses first. Therefore, let's look at the operation that is inside the parentheses. So 4 minus 1 gives you 3. And copy everything else down. And now we have successfully removed the parentheses, but we are left with the square bracket. And if you are to look at the inside of the square bracket, you should notice there are two operations inside the square bracket. You have the subtraction and multiplication. So we are to use the BEDMAS rule and determine which operation we are to operate first inside the square bracket. So definitely is the multiplication that has the third priority. 3 times 2 should give you 6, and we are to copy everything else back. And remember, we are yet to remove the square bracket because something is not yet done inside the square bracket. We are to do the subtraction. So 10 minus 6 should give you 4. And we have removed the square bracket because everything is being done inside the square bracket. Therefore, we are to look at the BEDMAS rule and determine is the multiplication sign to be performed first or the addition. So I believe it's the multiplication that is in green that has the third priority. So 2 times 4 to give you 8, and copy the addition plus 6. Lastly, we are to perform the last priority. So 8 plus 6 should give you 14. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe.